you want. So today's class is going to be a class on surrender. So for some of you new people here, just let me give you a brief explanation about Yin Yoga. Yin Yoga is a much slower yoga. Most of the poses are about coming in to a point where we're stressing our body. And by stress, it means you feel a pull, you feel a stretch in your body. The stretch should never be painful. And only you can be aware of your body and know where you have come to. It's not about trying to get into a pose very quickly. It's about allowing yourself to surrender and to sink into the pose. The other thing is you come to what we call your edge. So when you first start, the first point you get to where your body naturally stops, but you're feeling some kind of stress, you stay there. And then as you hold the pose for a little bit longer, you can see if you want to go a little bit deeper into the pose. Sometimes you might want to even come out, take a break, and then come back in. Whatever you feel is right for your body. And then the next thing we do is we hold a pose for time. So most of these poses will be holding for a minimum of 4 minutes. Some might even be 10 minutes. So you really want to connect with your breath in the pose. You really want to follow your breath, because following your breath is what allows you to stay. So you want to be still as possible. The only movement you make in the pose is either to get deeper into the pose or to maybe ease out of it. But try and stay as still as possible and follow your body and how it feels, because sometimes you'll feel an area where you might feel the stress, and you'll notice after a minute or two that the stress has moved to another point. So the thing with Yin Yoga, what we're doing is stressing the joint. Because the whole body is connected, you can release one area and then it then moves to another area that needs to be released. So that's just the basic principle. So today our theme is all about letting go, surrendering our body to the pose and surrendering our mind, and just follow what you're feeling and what you're thinking. So let's just take a moment to just close our eyes. Wherever you are, just let the palms face up. Rest the back of the hands either on your thigh or on the ground. Close your eyes and connect in with your breath. Just take a moment to think about what you need to surrender to in your life right now. How surrendering will help you in any situation. Notice how your body feels. Notice if you're holding any areas of tension. Just be aware of it. Don't judge it. Just notice where that tension is in your body. Just be aware of your body. Just think about an intention for your class, what you hope to get out of the class. Maybe why you've come to class, whatever it is, just set that intention and try to remember that intention so that when you get to a point in the poses that might feel a little bit challenging, you can come back to this intention. Now just bring your hands over to your heart center. We'll chant one Om just to open the class and just to remind ourselves that we're all connected, even with distance between us, even though we're just talking on a computer and nobody's here in person. So let's take an inhale. And then we're going to come to the mat. We're going to come into what is known as child's pose. Sorry, no, before that, we're going to just come to an easy seated pose. So you're just going to come to a pose where your legs are crossed. You can either sit up on a block or you can sit flat on the ground. Just easily cross your legs and just take your fingertips and walk your hands straight out. No stress involved, just walk your hands down as low as you can. And then walk your hands over to one side, maybe to the right side. Walk them over as far as you can. And when you get to that first edge, take your left hand, if you've gone over to the right side, and just rest it on top of your right hand. Let your head relax. Come to your edge. Feel where you're getting the stress in your body and just breathe into it. Remember, all the breathing is done through the nose and ideally out through the nose. But if it's a very deep stretch and you want to do a slow, long sigh with an open mouth, you can do that as well. So just feel the deep tensions releasing in the body. And just allow the energy to flow through the body. So even though we're stretching, we're not contracting any muscles. The muscles are just relaxing. We're sinking into them. Use this time to maybe slow your breath down a little bit. Maybe extend the exhale. And you can notice what thoughts are going through your mind. Just notice them, don't judge them, just notice them. And release them. And then start to walk your hands back to the center, coming forward. And walk the hands all the way over to the other side. So when you walk over to the other side, if you're going over to the left side, you're going to take your right hand and just rest it on your left hand. And just feel the stretch in the other side of your back, and the other side of your hip. So it doesn't matter how high up you are in this pose. Once you're feeling some bit of stress, And the stress will be coming right along the back of the body, right into maybe the hip. Depends on what area your body is tightest. And remember just to release there, just to try your best to relax. If you're not getting down very low, by all means take a pillow and just rest on it on the side. So if you have a big pillow and you feel it's more of a twist to your back, get a pillow and just relax on the pillow. Just make sure you're getting a little twist to the side of your body. And remember, just come to your edge. No pain, just feeling a stretch. So connective tissue takes a while to stretch. You need to be here for at least 2 minutes. The longer you can stay, the better. And this stress is really good for your body. Remember the theme, which is to surrender. Surrender into your pose, surrender into your breath, surrender into your mind, into your thoughts. There's no judgment, just letting go. Just allowing your body to soften and to relax. And it's okay if you need to come out, to come back in, to go deeper. And now slowly walk your hands back to the center. And slowly, on the tips of your finger, push yourself to come straight back up. So you're going to open your legs now out. As wide as comfortable for you. If you know you have tight hamstrings, sit up onto a cushion or a block or something so that your hips just kind of tilt forward a little bit. So you want to feel your sit bones grounding down. You can even then take the flesh from your bottom and sort of pull it out so that you feel your sit bones grounding down. And then we're just going to come straight forward. So again, take a cushion, take 2 cushions if you like, to lean on, to just get yourself comfortable as you move forward into this pose. Just flex the feet gently first to get them so that they're nice and You can feel like the toes are facing up. Just flex them a little bit gently and then relax them. Begin to surrender. Surrender all your tension. Just take the time. Now, if you want to stretch your body, if you find your body is getting too stiff, the best thing you can do is just get down on the floor. Sit down on the floor, open your legs, maybe read something for about 5 minutes. You will find that your body starts to lengthen, it starts to stretch. And actually a pose like this can be very good for your knees. Now, if you feel a sensation of pull in the inner knee, that's okay. That's where you should be feeling the pull. And once it's not painful, you can just stay there. You can even, if you had like a chair, if a chair is forward and you're still getting that pressure, that stress between your thigh, you can just lean forward on a chair. You don't have to come down too low. Just come to where you're feeling that bit of tension and slowly relax into it. And this is about accepting where you are, accepting how far you can go. There's no judgment. This is where you are, and that's absolutely fine. And you're here just to get a bit of a deeper stretch for your body today. For your body to feel a stretch it probably hasn't felt for a while. And remember, if you need to, you can come out of it and go back in. But if you can, just try to stay in the stillness. Stay with the pose. Don't go too deep. Always have a stretch that you can hold. That's not painful. There should be no pain. Just a stress on the body. Just notice if there's been any change where you're feeling the stress. So mine started first more on the inside of my knees, but now that it's moved back to my hamstrings. So just notice where the stress moves. What happens is as one place starts to open up, you feel it in another place. You might be feeling it in your back. We're just gonna hold this for a couple more breaths. And slowly come up. So another thing about Yin Yoga is when you come up, You want to come up nice and slow. Nice and slow. Take your joints into an easy fold. So slowly just pull the knees in. Gently bring the legs in. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So how far you want the soles of your feet together is up to you. If you have the soles of the feet further away, that's more of a stretch for your back. So we'll be leaning forward. If you have them in tighter, that's more stretch for the inner groin. However you choose is fine. Just bring the soles of the feet together and just let the knees come out. Again, if you have a pillow, and you can use whatever you need to get yourself comfortable in these poses because we are staying for time. Once you're feeling that stress, so that if you are on a chair, that's fine. You just want to open your knees up and just lean forward so you get the stress in your back. And just relax forward. Just let go of the resistance in your mind, resistance in your breath, and the resistance in your body. Allow your body to just melt, to relax, and to surrender. Allow the back of the neck to even relax in this pose. Let it hang down. So this is a pose where the soles meet, soles of the feet. It's also a good pose to do if you do meditation. If you do this before meditation, it can really help to center you. And you can even sort of intertwine your toes between each other like a zipper if you want to. Just to add a little fun. And remember, after you've come to your first edge and you've stayed for a while, see if you can just move a little bit more deeper into the pose. See how that feels for you. Notice the sensations you're feeling. Notice the thoughts you're having.
Notice what you might be saying to yourself. Notice if you are creating blockages in your mind, in your thoughts. And just allow them to let go, to release them, to surrender. And just let go of the thoughts. Let go of the tension. Let go of the judgments. And just be where you are. And then just slowly come up.
You want to just lean back now because we've had our back in a bit of flexion. Slowly bring the knees together. Bring the hands behind you and just gently sort of lift the hips up, arch the back, stretch out the front, the hips, just to release the back a little bit. Now the next pose we're going to come into, there are two ways to do this pose. So I'm going to show you the first way for people who are very tight. You're going to just turn one leg out, like in a L shape in front of you, and the other leg behind you. And you want to just stay right here. Your pose might just be this, and trying to allow this back hip to settle into the floor. If the knee is up like this and it's very painful, just get a pillow, get a block to rest the knee on. If the back knee isn't coming down and you need padding there, grab a block, put a block on it. Wherever you are, just come to a point where one leg is open externally in the front and the other leg is turned behind. Get all those moves. Now, if you are flexible and you want to come into pigeon pose, you're going to bring that front leg in front of you. The back leg you're going to take behind you. Now, you want to get your hips on the same plane. So you might want to start off with a block underneath that front hip so that you're up and they're in the same plane. Or you might want to give it a little time to sink down. Whatever your, so for the very stiff, or just for people who have difficulty with their knees, difficulty with their hips, by all means stay in this pose. Concentrate on getting this hip down. When this hip sinks down, how you can deepen it is just by coming forward like this into the pose. Remember, you can support your knees with blocks or pillows, whatever you need. If you want to go deeper into the pose, keep that front leg in front, bring the back hip behind, and sink forward. So this is really one to open up the hips. We hold a lot of emotions and a lot of tension in our hips. So give yourself time to relax, to surrender, to melt,
Don't judge your body. Be kind to it. Be kind in your thoughts. And remember, on the exhale is always when you can soften. You can see your muscles lengthening, and you can imagine them softening and releasing. Stay connected to the breath. Allow yourself just to come to that first point, that first edge.
And only with time do you let yourself sink further. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you're feeling that slight bit of stress, but just stay where you are and just give your body time. Sometimes we just need to melt the tension away. And let go of any thoughts that are blocking your mind, making you feel less good about today. Remember your intention. Remember why you agreed to come to your mat today. Sometimes poses that we like the least are the poses that we need to do the most. If something happens in our body when we hold it in a certain position for time, it's actually called creep. And if you think of, if you left, I don't know if everybody knows what silly putty is, but if you left silly putty out for the night on a table, you might have left it in a ball, but by the time you come in the morning, you'll see that that ball is just flattened and sort of spread out. That's what your body is doing in these poses. It's at a very, very slow, in some case intense places. It's stretching itself, it's allowing itself to lengthen. And by lengthening, you're actually allowing a lot of release to take place in your body. So don't judge any emotions that might come up or any feelings. Just allow those to let go as well. And then slowly come up from this pose. Very gently move yourself out, slide onto your butt, bring the knee up, and we're just gonna move on to the other side. So that front leg that was turned out now turns in, and the back leg that was turned out internally will turn externally. And remember, you always have one side that's tighter than the other. So this side might feel worse. So maybe you just take a moment to sit here in their pose and just allow the hips to settle. Allow this back hip to just sink down before you move straight in to the full pigeon pose. Remember, any props you need, you can stay, you can get your props. And then when you want to, you can just start to lean forward. Just allowing, feeling that hip, those hips releasing, just slowly. So this pose is called pigeon pose, and it's one of the king poses in yoga for hip opening, for hip releasing. But it often is an area where we hold a lot of stress, we hold a lot of trauma. Sometimes it's even been said you hold fear and anxiety in your hips. So this is a place that can be very uncomfortable for people. So don't feel alone if you're hating this pose. It's very normal. And it can bring up not just pain in our body, but painful feelings as well. So just accept your body, see where you are, accept where you are, and just experience being here, being slow and being with the breath. Sometimes when you hold these poses, you think, oh, I must have been here for 10 minutes. And you see 30 seconds have passed. And then sometimes you hold it and you feel like you've been there for 2 minutes and you've been there for 5. It's about connecting with your breath, letting go, not trying to clench or contract any muscles, just trying to let the muscles release, let them soften. And then slowly push yourself up. Bring the legs around. And just bring the legs straight out in front of you. So again, take the flesh away from underneath you. So you're sitting right up onto your sit bones. You can, if you want in this next pose, sit on a block or sit on a cushion to give you a little bit of lift. And if you have a strap, get your strap. So put your strap just around the base of your left foot. Take your right foot and just bend the knee and bring the sole of the foot to the inside of your thigh. I'll just show you. My cat is kind of forbidding me to do full poses. So you like this. This foot is bent, your right knee is bent, your left foot is straight. Hold on to the strap. You can be sitting up on a block if you want to. Get your sit bones away from you. Flex the foot lightly and just slowly, using the strap, pull yourself to just come forward, leaning forward gently over that straightened leg, the left leg. So you're going to keep folding over, so let that fold unfold. Just let it happen. Let go of trying to control anything. Sort of move from the upper part of your chest, your heart center. Just let that come forward towards your leg. And just notice if you're clenching your jaw, clenching your shoulders, clenching any part of your body, your neck. And just try your best to let it all soften and relax. And just fold forward. And if you all don't like my poses, you can always do kitten splits. Again, notice where you're feeling the stretch in your body. Maybe it's in your back, maybe it's the back of the hamstrings, maybe it's both. Just notice it, just observe it. You want your stretch to just be enough that you can hold here and relax. If your muscles are feeling any pain, it'll send a signal to your brain for the muscles to contract. You don't want to have so much of a stretch that you're feeling pain in your body. You want to have it so that you're comfortable and you can just stay there for a while.
And then slowly start to look up.
So sometimes when you come out of these poses, you feel about 83 years old. Stretch the leg out. Again, bend the knees and just as we've had a bit of flexion in our spine, lift the hips up, release the back a couple of times before we go into the other side. And then stretch the right leg out. If that was the knee you had bent, bend the left knee in. Take the strap. Again, remember you can sit up on a block. Just sort of pull the flesh away from you so that you can ground down on your sit bones and feel your hips tilting forward. Dad, put that TV remote down. And sink forward.
So let the muscles in your back relax. Try to let the muscles in the back of your leg relax. The hip muscles are opening. Just notice which side of the back body you're feeling the stress in. Notice where it's coming from. Try to identify almost which part of the spine it's coming from and where it's radiating up to. So yoga brings a lot of body awareness, and especially Yin Yoga because we have the time as we're in the pose to think about every possible thing that's going on in our body. Notice if you're clenching any muscles that you can release. Just ask yourself, what do I need to let go of today in my life? What do I need to release? It could be something emotional, it could be something physical. And again, slowly just start to come out of this pose. Letting yourself come up nice and slow. So we're going to come into a pose now called restorative fish. So if you have blocks, get your blocks. If you don't have blocks, I'm going to show you how you can do this with roll towels or a bolster. So if you have blocks and it's your first time doing this, have the blocks on the lowest level. So your block is going to go right underneath your shoulder blade. So right at the bottom base of your spine. That's where one's going to go. And the other one is going to go at your head. So you don't want it in the mid back. You want it right below the shoulder blade. If you want a deeper stretch, you can put the block on the medium level. Again, right below the shoulder blade. So right where your bra strap would be, if you have on a bra, if you're a lady. And then just bring the block behind to the same level. So if it's in a medium or a low spot, bring it for your head. And let your arms open out nice and wide. Let your feet stretch out. So it's just a nice opening for the front of the chest. So if you don't have blocks, get your bolster and do the same thing. Get the bolster, have it nice and thick as you can. Roll it up. Come to line the side right. Line it up right below your shoulders. So you want your shoulder blades to be able to fall completely off the bolster. And if, as long as your your chin and your forehead are in line, and it's not like this, your chin is not up like this, or it's not down like this, you don't need a pillow. If you find your neck feels uncomfortable, just get a pillow that can sort of lie right underneath it. So I'm just gonna look. Dad, where's the other block? I can't hear you. Just show me. Lift up and let me see where it is under your shoulders. Okay, so you have it. You need to bring it down a little bit further and then put the back block on the flattest ledge as well. Not so far down. Not so far. That's too far down. Lift it up a bit more, Dad. Right under your shoulder blades, right about there. Yeah. Let that other block come down a lower level. That block is up too high because we're trying to, no, flat. Put it flat. Yeah. Now let your arms come straight out to the side and let the back of the arms open up. So have the palms facing up and let everything roll out. Nice. So this should be a really comfortable pose. There shouldn't be any pain. It should be nice and comfortable. And it's a super pose to open up the shoulders, to open up the heart center. Just let everything release and soften. So in this pose, try breathing right into your heart center, right in the center of your chest, between your breasts. Try breathing right into there, and then just holding it for a moment on the inhale, and then on the exhale, releasing. This is a lovely pose you can do if you've spent a long day at your desk in front of the computer, or even if you just have a rounding in the upper back, because it just helps to counteract that and open up the front of the body. It helps with the breath. It helps to relax the shoulders. Because it's completely supported, you can just allow your body to just melt into the pose. Totally surrender.
Yep, you have to really watch time on this pose because you can stay here forever. So just slowly bend the knees and carefully bring them to one side and just roll off of your block. Stay on your side for a bit. Just let your body absorb that stretch, that pose, especially if you did quite a deep back bend. And then just slowly push yourself back up. And we're going to do another sort of inverted pose, supported. If you have a belt, take your belt and you want to have a closed chain belt. So you want to take your belt. If you have a loop, loop it under one and then loop it back over the other so that it can stay closed, it can stay firm. And then you're going to take the belt and tighten it right by your ankles. Bring your ankles completely closed and tighten it right there. Then you're going to get a couple blocks or whatever you have. Put it right at the end. Get a bolster or a big cushion, whatever you have, maybe both, depending on how high you want the inversion to go. So I like a nice strong inversion, so I'm going to use a cushion and my bolster. Bring that right underneath, right by your bottom, right by your sacrum. Your legs are going to rest on the blocks. And then you're going to just lie back. So you might take a little bit of adjusting. Lie back and let your shoulders come to the ground and let your arms, if it's comfortable, just come straight over. Just relax your whole body in this supported bridge pose. So the reason why we have the belt around the feet is so that the legs can completely relax. You don't have to worry about them falling off the blocks. So have it nice and tight around the ankles. Get the bolster or the cushions or the pillow right underneath your sacrum, right behind your hips. So not your lower back is on the pillow, the lower back is off. You're just getting a nice soft supported back bend. And again, allow yourself to be very comfortable in this pose. And you can bring your arms over your head, the palms face up, and just close your eyes. Relax yourself here. Let your legs relax. Let your chest open. And if you find two blocks are too high, you can remove one block. You can remove both blocks. So you have more of a whole arch in your body, if that's comfortable for you.
And notice the openness in the whole of the front body of this pose. Notice your breath. The breath should be moving smoothly and evenly. And then slowly bend your knees. Walk your feet in. See if you can slip your feet out of the strap. And then lift your hips up, push down lightly, lift your hips up and just move that bolster or the cushion right to underneath your knees. Let your palms come out beside your body, palms lift up. Let your knees and your feet fall open about mat width apart and just come into your Shavasana pose, corpse pose. So the yogis say this is one of the most difficult poses to do. Because it's a corpse pose, you should be absolutely still, no movement. And just absolutely no contraction of any muscles. All your muscles should be relaxed, should be softened, and should be just supported by the floor. Notice your breath. As you breathe in, your belly rises, and as you breathe out, it falls. Imagine your breath to be like waves washing up from the shore. So you breathe in, the wave comes up. And as you breathe out, it recedes. Notice any areas of the body that you might still be holding any tension, and just try to breathe and relax. And especially on the exhale, see those muscles softening and lengthening and relaxing. There's nothing more to be done now but just to sit here and relax and let the body absorb everything that you've done for it today. And slowly start to move your fingers and your toes. Bring your legs together. Bring your arms over your head and just stretch your whole body out. Bend the knees and roll onto the side, making a pillow with your arm. And keeping your eyes closed, slowly and carefully and mindfully, just push your body up and come to an easy seated pose.
Relax the back of the hands on the thighs. Have the spine nice and tall. And just observe your breath for a moment. Observe your mind. Just notice how you feel now compared to when you first started the class. And just notice how your body feels. And bring your hands into your heart center. We chant one Om to close the class. So take an inhale. Namaste.